4-year-old Ben Kennewell is hooked on the horses. His dad's a trainer, and the family is obsessed with their pet, called Dora.
He loves her. He's ridden her up and down in the barn at Morpheville when she lived in Adelaide. You liked that, didn't you?
Who's your favourite horse, Benny?
Viddora.
Viddora. And you've got her colours on, eh?
Yes.
Who's your favourite jockey?
Joe Bowditch.
Who's your favourite jockey, Lloyd?
Joe Bowditch. It's got to be.
You like Joe Bowditch, do you, Ben? Why do you like him as a jockey?
Because he wins all the races.
Joe Bowditch is Ben's godfather and Lloyd's stable rider.
We're best mates. We get along great. Me and Joe go a long way back. We've known each other since I was a kid when he used to ride for my dad, and that's showing Joe's age a little bit. He's a little bit older than me.
To be 41, coming to the biggest day of your life.
I'm a late bloomer. I'm only just coming into my own now, so only as old as you feel, and I still feel 25.
Especially when you've got a 6-week-old baby.
Yeah, 6-week-old baby and a 6-year-old good mare.
Jake's arrival has topped off a busy time for the Bowditches. When Lloyd decided to leave Adelaide a few months ago to take stables in Melbourne, Joe and his wife Jen went with them.
They're more like brothers and best friends. We always joke around whenever one of them calls each other, his wife Melissa and I, and say, oh, your boyfriend's calling. So, no, very, very close.
I really love the things that you do.
Lloyd paid a modest $40,000 for a yearling. Jen took first share and named it Viddora.
To be honest, I wasn't too pleased. Lloyd had pulled her aside and talked her into buying a share in her, and he could obviously see something that I couldn't. She was a little tiny thing at the time, and she had a long coat.
Joe said, you can't put her in that tiny little runt. She's not going in that little horse. It's a waste of money.
She was a little tiny thing, and Lloyd said, Jen, you're in this one? And I said, yep, no worries, trust Lloyd 100%. And my husband told me, you're not going in that one. It's a little, tiny little thing. 4 years on, we've got a $2.4 million horse going into the Everest.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best.
The runt has grown. Her bum is more like black caviar's.
Have you copped a bit of a ribbing over the last year?
A little bit, yeah. Try about 5 years worth. She's given it to me ever since, especially now that she's a dual Group 1 winner.
Yeah, she's the hero tonight, Viddora. Races home and wins the boys.
Do you know how much the winning jockey gets in the Everest?
I think, off the top of my head, I think it's roughly 300.
It's exactly 300.
Yeah, but I'm not sort of too worried about that. I think more the prestige of winning the race. I want to look back in 20 years' time and say I didn't have a ride in the Everest. I want to look back in 20 years' time and say I won the Everest.
How much will the trainer get if he wins the race?
I think around 600,000. So.
600 grand.
Yeah.
What would you do with that, Lloyd?
It'll go a long way to paying a fair few bills. Tip the rest of it back into the business, I think. You've got to keep the business afloat.
Lloyd is being called the Rookie of Randwick. Today is the first time he's raced a horse on the track. Naturally, Ben and all the clan are living it up on this once-in-a-lifetime ride.
These things don't seem to happen to people like us, so it's a bit of a fairy tale. You know, we're all everyday people. We're not sheikhs, we're not million-dollar businessmen. You know, we're teachers, we're police officers, and all walks of life in the horse. And it's great to see a $40,000 purchase from Adelaide shaking it up with the big boys.
Great story. Jared Middleton for the